Well, good morning, welcome to the Reinvention Saturdays. My name is Benjamin Kamoye, and I'm excited just to connect with you here today. Excited to connect with you here today as we talk about doubling your income. Doubling your income. What a great time to be together here. Just see all of you who are coming in live. Thank you very much. And for those of you who are just joining live right now, we're talking about doubling your income. My name is Benjamin Kamoye, and I'm gifted as a creative communicator. What that means is that I'm created to, coach, speak, train, and help leaders reinvent themselves. Helping leaders reinvent themselves so that they can master, manifest, and monetize their brilliance. One of the things I'm very passionate about is helping leaders through these Reinvention Saturday sessions to really tap into their genius code. And once you tap into your genius code, how do you bring this genius code out here into the world? How do you, bring the genius code into the world and get paid what you are worth as you bring that genius code into the world? And that's one of the things I'm very passionate about, even as we connect here on Reinvention Saturdays. So today we're talking about doubling your income, and thanks for joining me. This idea of doubling your income is something that I've entertained for a very long time. But it didn't just start, out of nowhere. There's a time when I began to get information and be introduced to this idea that I could literally double my income. I remember when I started out at $30 a month in terms of an income, I just thought that was my lot in life, that those were the cards that I had been handed, and I just needed to navigate my way through life and just crawl my way, dig through the tarmac with my bare hands and hopefully get to the other side. Until I learned that there are principles and there are practices that govern how much money that we make. If you think about how much money you make in a month, that is not your worth. That is the place where you are, in the position that you are in the market, and the value that you are able to trade in the marketplace for the money that you earn. It is not really your worth. You could grow that. You could expand that. You could increase that. And that's the big idea. I think if there's any big objective from our time here today, that I would love for you to walk away with this idea that it's possible to earn your worth, that it's possible to double, triple, even quadruple your income. It's possible to do that. I want you to walk out of this 30-minute session that we're going to have together just having that belief that I can do this, and here are the steps that I'm going to take to get there. And I'm going to give you those steps right now. Thank you for joining me. And here's the first question that I have for you. When was the last time you sat down? When was the last time you sat down and thought about how you could double your income? Think about the amount of money that you make in a month. Do you see that number? Good. Do you see how much money you make in a year? Take that number that you earn in a month and multiply it by 12. Do you see that number? Good. Now, if you were to double that number, multiply it by 2, what would that be? Write it down. You know the number. Now, what if you were to triple that number? What would it be? Write down that number. What if you were to quadruple that number? What would it be? And the big idea that I'm sharing with you here is that there is a possibility that you may have never sat down and spent time engaging and thinking through, how do I turn my annual income into my monthly income? How do I turn my monthly income into my hourly income? Think about that. Have you sat down and thought about that? Because that's big. And for me, where it started when I realized that I could actually increase my earnings per minute. I was working in a church. I was paid $30 in a month. I was just at the entry level. And I was working from Monday to Monday. I was engaged every day. I was a young man. I didn't have a family. That's all. That's all I needed to do in my life at that time was work, until I was introduced to this idea that I could calculate how much I earn per minute. And what I did is I simply just took the amount of money that I was earning per month and I divided that by 20 days that I was working. For me, I was working every day, so I simply divided it by 30 days. And after dividing it by 30 days, I took that number that I had got and then I divided it by 16 hours because I was working for more than 16 hours. And I realized in that moment that it was better for me to waste time because my minute was almost worthless. It was cents. You know, how many of you would pick up a 10-cent coin if you saw it on the ground? Hey, a 50-cent coin, maybe a shilling. How many of you would see a shilling on the ground and pick it up? I mean, the effort it takes for you to pick up that shilling, for me, it was better if I wasted my time because I was worth less than a shilling a minute. And that got me thinking, and I said, I'm going to double my income. And I know I made a subconscious decision in that moment that I was going to be worth this much per hour, that I wanted to be earning a certain amount of money per hour. And for me, subconsciously, I started this journey to becoming the person who is worth this much per hour. And so for you, as you look at this number that you've written down, that you've said, I want to earn this much, because earning this much would bring this kind of feeling in my life. I would never have to look at a menu and read it from the right hand side where the prices are. I would simply look for what I want and order for it without caring. I would look at a dress and a suit in a shop, and I would go into the shop and I would try it on, and if it looked good, I would say, pack it for me, here is my card, run the thing, I don't care how much you're charging, there's money in the card, I'll pay for it. How good would it be if when your children asked you, Daddy, Mommy, can you do this for me on my birthday? You would definitely say yes. You wouldn't start giving them lectures about how the economy is difficult and how there's no money. How good would that be for you? And that's why doubling your income, tripling, quadrupling, adding whatever number of zeros you want at the end of that number should be your number one priority. If it is not your number one priority. And so we're talking about doubling your income. Thank you for all those of you who are coming in. Please like and comment with an idea that hits you. You see, these algorithms work based on, whether people like and comment. And I'm raising a generation of leaders in the marketplace. And I want as many of you to get this message. So like, comment, and share and get the message out there. Don't get distracted. Take your notes and let's go with this. Now, talking about doubling your income, we've already unpacked this idea that you need to have this number, that you know that if you had this number on a monthly basis, it would really shift your life. It would change the possibilities for you. It would give you an emotional peace of mind and state of, I can do anything that comes my way. Having put that number down, the next question was, when was the last time you sat down for just 5 minutes in a day and asked, how do I come up with this amount on a monthly, hourly, minute basis? When was the last time you sat down and thought about, how am I going to do this? And if you haven't, my question for you is, why haven't you? Why haven't you? And I want to put it to you because this is number one. Practice number one to skyrocket your earnings. You need to have the belief that you are worth that number. You need to have the belief that you are worth that number. For most of us, if I would tell you that I'll pay you $1,000 for an hour, $1,000 for an hour, the question you would ask yourself is, what would I need to deliver? Yes, you might say, yeah, give me the money because I got so many needs and I need to pay so many bills. Let me have it, let me have it, let me have it. But the question is, would it register within you that, yes, I'm worth this? I'm worth this. And you could even get to the point where you say, if it's 900, I'm turning it back. I'm not going to do it. I'm walking away. You know how you go to buy something and you tell the shopkeeper or the guy in the store, this is how much I'm offering for the product, and they tell you, sorry, we better keep it in stock, take your money, it's something, but no thank you. That is a conversation that I want you to have with yourself and say, this number that I've written down, whether it's $100,000 a month, whether it's $100,000 an hour, whether it's $1 million, it doesn't matter the zeros on that number. It doesn't matter. The question is, do you believe that you are worth it, whatever that number is? Because then if you don't believe that you're worth it, you're not going to take the next step that I'm just about to give you. And so interrogate, why am I struggling to believe that I'm worth this? Why am I failing to believe? Yeah. Why? Who damaged you when you were growing up? Maybe some teacher who told you you're foolish, you'll never amount to much, you're stupid like your mother, you'll fail like your father, you'll never go far, you'll never amount to anything. No one from your family has ever done something like that. This is our person, blah, 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 blah. All that vomit, you need to wash it away. You need to wash it from your mind. You need to get a sanitizer and spray it in your brain, in your subconscious, in your belief system. I tell you what, you've got to work hard to build the belief that I am worth this. And how do you build belief? You build belief in the same way unbelief was built in you, through words. The people who told you what they told you, and they labored and they hammered those words at you, and they are playing in your head like a cassette, turning from side A to side B to side A, and they're just going back. I'm not worthy, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not the other. The way that they used to imprint these ideas into your head is the same way that you used to imprint the great ideas about yourself in your mind. Make it your daily habit. Wendell Holmes said, we are tattooed from the crib by the beliefs of our tribe. We are tattooed from the crib by the beliefs of our tribe. That we are not this, that we are not that, that we do this, we don't do that, we don't this, we don't. And we take those ideas and we embody them. And so no wonder this idea of doubling your income for some of you is like, what? Our motivational speaker. Sorry, I'm not one of those. I'm here to share with you practical tips, because this has been the journey of my life. I told you, I started at $30 an hour, and I have gotten to the place where, I started from $30 a month, and I got to a place where it was $30 an hour, to the place where it's $300 an hour, to the place where it is $500, $600, $1,000 an hour. That's the big idea that I'm sharing with you here. That you want to be at that place where you believe you're worth it. That's number one. Let's get to number two. Number two is having believed that, yes, this is the number that I can deliver value for. Yeah, this is the number that I'm worth. The next thing is to close the gap in terms of value. You see, the person who helps you double your income, who pays you whatever it is that you say you're worth, believes that whatever you're giving to them is more valuable than the money that they are giving to you. The person who pays you whatever you say you are worth believes that whatever they are paying you is of a lesser value than what you're giving to them. And therefore, you've got to articulate your value. You have to articulate, what are you good at? What are you good for? What are you delivering to the market? What do you have and who needs it? And why do they need it? Articulating that value and packaging that value and then positioning it in that market is the next and most important thing. We see, we were made to believe that degrees are equal to something. Sorry, they are not. All education is beneficial. By the way, I'm a student. I'm always learning. My bookshelf is full and I'm constantly buying more books. All education is beneficial. But if you place your trust and your hope in degrees and you're walking around looking for a job, hoping that you're going to increase your income based on that piece of paper, dude, girl, you're wrong. The world has shifted and the pandemic has just accelerated the whole story. And why it's different is because now the conversation of value has been amplified. The market wants to know, what do you have? Don't bring me certificates. Especially at a time where many people are getting certificates, and when they step into the job market, they can't deliver the thing they said they studied. And so people are looking for someone who can deliver value, and they're not going to hesitate to give you in exchange for what you want, the value that you bring. So articulate your value and then hone your value. Sharpen your value. Be the sharpest knife in the drawer. Be the go-to person, go-to girl for whatever skill, talent, ability, thing that people are looking for. Be the go-to person. And you sharpen that by being the best and knowing every angle dynamic about that area. Be the best. And then when everybody who is in that market is being asked to refer them to the next specialist, you are the person that they refer to. And that's the point, friends, that when you begin to dictate your value, you begin to dictate how much you earn, and you increase your value and price as much as you want and desire. That's the second one. And while you're articulating your value, you need to understand that the money that you earn is governed by the law of compensation. The law of compensation. And the law of compensation dictates that how much you earn in any product or service is governed by your, number one, the need for the product or the service. Number two, your ability to provide the product or the service. Number three, the difficulty there is in replacing you. That's the law of compensation. Number one, is there a need for the thing? Yes. You didn't create the need. There's a need for vaccines globally. There's a need for medicine globally. Did you create the need? No. The need existed before you. Good. The next thing here is, how good are you at delivering the thing? How good are you at delivering the thing? The product, the service, the solution. How good are you to deliver this thing? Your ability to do it is the second one. That governs, that's the law of compensation. And then number three, the difficulty there is in replacing you. How many people are there like you? What is the supply of the quality that you deliver in the market? Are there 100,000 people who can do the same thing like you can do? Because guess what? Your value is going to go down. Your ability to create, the price that you want to double your income is going to go down. And so think really in terms of, whoa, I want to be worth this much. I want to be the best at my craft. I want to dictate my fees to the marketplace. And so for you to get there, you really have got to the point where you say, good, there's a need for this. I'm able to do it. And it's difficult to replace me. I'm irreplaceable. There's only two of us. One is here, the next one is in an icy country. And that is the law of compensation, and it governs how much you earn. And it's connected to this idea of articulate and hone your value in order for you to earn your worth. Now, for some of you, you're probably wondering, wait a minute, I'm not a consultant. I can't charge per hour. I can't charge per minute. That world has shifted. That world where people are going to give you a job and then they're going to unconditionally pay you a salary at the end of the month, that world is coming to an end pretty fast. We are already so deep into what is called the economy of you, the you economy, where you as an individual are working with entities and providing the certain value that you have to them in return for whatever it is that you're charging and whatever that thing is worth. And the more value you can deliver, the more that you can earn. And what we're saying here is that you can raise your value. You can raise your value. And as you raise your value, you command your fees. I remember very well when I started out in coaching, speaking, and training, and I realized that I had to be the kind of coach that coaches kings, executives, presidents, directors. I had to be operating at that level where I'm able to comprehend their challenges and I'm able to deliver value that meets them where they are and causes them to pay me in return for the value I deliver. I had to get good. I developed myself. I went back to school. I did certifications. I went for mentorship programs. I connected with people who are doing what I wanted to do and were having success at that level. And I sat at their feet and I learned from them and I changed my craft and I honed my craft. And I got good at it and I got good. I tested the thing and I did it and I tested and I got good. And the more I raised my fees, the more I found that there were people at those levels in those fees where I could earn my worth. You see, for you to really earn your worth, you gotta consider that there is premium resource within you. Deliver that value in exchange for what you believe you're worth. Let's go to the last one before I land here. And the last one is gravitate towards a market that pays your worth. Gravitate towards a market that pays your worth. You see, not everybody in the market is looking for the lowest price. I definitely am not. Not everyone in your market is looking for the guy with the lowest invoice. There is a client that doesn't care about the number on the invoice or the quotation. They're looking for the value. And the third most important thing is to believe that there is a market. There is a market. It's there. I can tell you, it's there. It's there. You may have never known, but it's there. It's there. That pays your worth. And all that market is asking for is, can you deliver this value to me? Because to them, whatever they are giving to you in terms of your money, whatever remuneration, that is of a lower value than what they are getting from you. Awareness is what I trade in my business as a coach. Helping people step into their awareness. Helping them navigate and find within themselves resources that have always been there. Answers to challenges. Answers that have always been there. That is my mastery and that's what I do. And for some people, that is priceless. That light bulb moment, in that moment, they're like, it doesn't matter even if you asked me $10,000. And that's where the idea of what's the value of an idea? What's the value of an idea? And that's the business that I'm in, of helping people really be like, oh, my goodness, light bulb moment. Yeah, that's it. I've been looking for it all my life. And people cry. And people thank me profusely. And people pay me profusely for the value that I bring to them. But it's because I have believed that there's a market that pays my worth. I remember a couple of years back, I had been growing myself. I'd been developing myself. I had been in the John Maxwell team. I was honing my craft. I was getting good at what I do, at coaching, at speaking, at training, at getting in front of audiences. I was really practicing my craft and I was getting good at it. And I got to the place when I traveled to Orlando for my certification, and here I am, I'm with my mentors. I'm learning from the best in the world. And I look back and I said, how much am I charging for this in the marketplace? And when I came back, I wrote an email and I sent it to all the people that I was working with. And I said, hey, I'm giving you X number of months in terms of notice. When it gets to this month, I'm going to raise my fees. And I'm going to raise my fees not because I'm greedy, but because you can see I've been growing myself. I've just come from this conference. I've been having this, and I'm bringing more value to the clients that you bring me in front of. These were organizations that had me as their associate consultant. And so in other words, if they got a workshop and a training for leadership, they'd bring me in and I would help co-create the content, and then I would go in and I'd deliver the content and I'd bring amazing experiences, and they would get all the credit for that because I went in under the banner of their organization and as one of their own. And so they got all the credit. And so I asked them and I said, guys, I'm bringing so much more value. We've been together for X number of years. I've continued to sharpen my knife, but you've never raised your fees. Hey, this is what I'm saying. I'm going to ask you from this day to raise the fees from this point. That's my new price. And they all climbed up and got an email and said, no, you know the market, and you know the market, and you know the market, and you know the market. And I said, guys, respectfully, I do understand, but this is where I'm going. And if you can't come with me, I absolutely respect that. I wish you all the best in your business. And I moved on. They never called me back My fees were way higher than what they were willing to pay. But tell you what, where I went into, having offloaded this team of associates, organizations that I was working with, I went forward and I found clients who were willing to pay double, even triple what I was earning in this place. My goodness, this is huge. Because if you're on the other side of where I was, it felt like it would be impossible. It felt like it's not going to happen. But if you're on this other side where you've tried some of these things and they work, you know it happens. And I'm here to help you build a belief that it's possible. That it's possible. You can earn your worth. And that earning your worth begins with you believing that you're worth it. 2, articulating and honing your value. And 3, gravitating towards that market that is paying your worth. Because kings are not looking for the price on your item. They don't even want to know how much it costed. These are the people who are already operating from the level of, I don't need to look at the right-hand side of the menu to know what to order. I look at the menu, I order what I want, whatever it costs. I put the card, they charge the card, I take the thing, I put it in my pocket and I move on. I know there's enough money there. And so there's a market. So long as you can deliver value to them, they're going to pay you your worth. These are the 3 key tips to skyrocket your earnings. The belief that you're worth it. The ability to articulate and hone your value to meet that level that whoever that client is going to pay you. And then thirdly, gravitate towards that market. Constantly believe that there's a market. Constantly believe that there's a market that is going to pay your worth. That market exists. That market exists. For those of you who are just joining us, thank you so much for your time here. Kamoya Benjamin, my mission is to help leaders reinvent themselves for impact and for income. And so these are 2 the big conversations here. Impact is about value. Income is about you earning your worth and doubling your income. It's possible. And if you need some assistance, you need help in any way, write to me, reinvention@kamoya.com. And I'm going to help you walk through these 3 main blocks. The first one is the belief. The second one is articulation of your value. And the third one is about gravitating and moving towards that market. I believe it's possible for you. It has happened for me. All right. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Yeah, it's almost at the top of the hour. Thank you for your time. And I thank you for all of you who joined. Join me next week. I'm going to be talking about how to abort the seed of greatness. Ow. Ouch. Yes. How to abort the seed of greatness. You may have never looked at yourself and realized that what you carry within you is a seed. And that seed is a seed of greatness. There are behaviors that you engage in that abort that seed. Because you are fertile ground. And there are things that you could do that abort that seed, or things that you could do that really allow that seed to germinate, to take root and sprout into the blossom that it was intended to have. Join me next Saturday, 9:30 a.m. East African time, as we talk about how to abort your seed of greatness. Thank you for joining me here today. If you need my assistance, someone is going to pick up the email, reinvention@kamoya.com. Write to me. Let's start a conversation about how I can help you double, triple, quadruple, whatever the number of zeros you want on that income. I'll help you do that. Yeah. As you get away, please like right now. Click on that like button. Yeah, like, comment, and share. All right. Bless you. Be well. And bye for now.